In the year 2011, a lone man seeking solitude and adventure embarked on a journey to hike the Appalachian Mountain Trail. Deep within his heart, he yearned for the rawness of nature, for freedom from the city's pollution and noise. The call of distant peaks stirred his spirit, their allure tugging at his adventurous soul. His feet ached to tread upon unspoiled terrain, to feel the crisp air upon his face. He desired to encounter the diverse wildlife, to gaze upon vistas untouched by human hands. This vast stretch of wilderness, a winding path of untamed beauty, was his chosen escape from the mundane grind of daily work. As he delved into the trail, the man found solace in the whispering trees and the air's purity. His senses heightened. He embraced the wilderness with an open heart. Each step on the rugged path was an intimate dance with Mother Nature. The foliage sang a lullaby, painting a picture of tranquility in his mind. When dusk descended, he faithfully set up his shelter, his tent, a lone sentinel amidst the vast expanse. It wasn't just protective cover, it was his under the starlit canopy. Obscured in the cloak of night, the forest was alive, its residents punctuating the quiet with their melodies. Night after night, he was serenaded by the symphony of the nocturnal creatures, an orchestra of strange and fascinating noises. As the days passed, an eerie sense of unease started to bloom within him. The once comforting lullaby of the night began to distort into a discordant melody. An orchestra of unseen creatures that seemed to whisper in the languid shadows. The nocturnal symphony, previously a soothing companion, now carried a more sinister tone, as if every cricket's chirp, every rustle of leaves hinted at hidden dangers lurking in darkness. Unfamiliar sounds, strange and unsettling, began to echo in the stillness, each one seeming to draw gradually closer to his solitary dwelling, his safe haven, his tent. They were just whispers of the night, he would reassure himself, mere products of his overactive imagination. And so he dismissed them, conveniently ignoring the chill running down his spine, choosing instead to remain within the safety of his shelter. One evening as he sat by his campfire, the crackling flames creating a lively spectacle, he encountered a sight that froze his blood. Emerging from the inky shadows was a man, stationed by his firewood. His body bore the gruesome marks of severe burns, blistered hands, a smoldering face, a poignant portrait of torment. The specter didn't utter a word, just held him captive with a stare that could cleave through a soul before silently retreating back into the obscurity of the night. Drained of color, the man was left in a state of shock. The reality of the situation was hard to grasp, as if a dark veil had descended upon his world. His heart pounded aggressively within his chest as he attempted to comprehend his surroundings. The enveloping fear was oppressive, constricting around him like a serpent, suffocating his courage. With a trembling hand, he hastily packed his meager belongings, his mind flooded with a jumbled chaos of the decision to leave the trail was reached quickly. It was a matter of survival. As he fumbled his way through the unfamiliar terrain, his steps were hesitant, unsure. He could taste fear in the air like a bitter pill that refused to go down. Suddenly he stumbled upon a tormenting scene. A house reduced to mere ashes, its skeleton blackened by the unforgiving flames. The air was still heavy with the nauseating stench of charred wood and despair. The sheriff stood nearby, his gaze firmly fixed on the eerie scene. His eyes reflected a haunting tale, a tale filled with terror and despair. Only a handful of days before, 4 to be precise, an idyllic family had met their untimely demise. A devastating inferno had violently seized their home, swallowing it whole, leaving nothing but ashes and a silence that echoed their absence. As the man stood listening to the sheriff's chilling recount, a cold shiver ran down his spine, piercing his soul. He pieced together the horrifying puzzle, the scorched figure, the nightmarish noises, the blackened house, a ghastly mirror of a heart-wrenching calamity. The burned figure, the haunting noises, the charred house, a chilling echo of a recent tragedy. And so, the solitary hiker left the Appalachian Trail. As he walked away from the winding path, he felt a sudden rush of emotions, a whirlwind of joy, fear, and appreciation. The fragrance of the wild woods, the rustling leaves beneath his boots, and the eerie silence that was only broken by his own breath all became a part of his soul. His journey had been the embodiment of solitude, a testament to not just his physical endurance, but mental resilience as well. He had seen the beauty of the dawn breaking over the distant ridges. He had experienced the terror of the night as unseen creatures rustled in the undergrowth. Every step of his journey was a mixture of fear and thrill. Every moment a battle between his will and the urge to turn back. Yet he pressed on, driven by an unquenchable thirst for adventure. The wilderness had imprinted itself upon him, its grandeur, its silence, its unpredictability, all of which left an indelible mark on his spirit. He carried with him an experience that would forever be etched in his memory, a haunting reminder of the unseen horrors that lurk within the heart of the wilderness.